is with us in Tennessee. Rena in Colorado. Julie in Florida, welcome. Denise in New Jersey. Samuel, shalom. Lynn in Paris. Shabbos is coming. Great way to bring in the Shabbos. We have Leah with us in Florida. Yarrow in Mexico, if I recall correctly. Tim in Texas. Vaclav in Tilson. Not sure what that is. Wherever it is, welcome. Shalom. Daphne is in South Carolina. Good morning. Samuel's in Brazil. Welcome. Okay. Karen is in Phoenix. Shalom. Celeste is in Boulder, Colorado, I guess. Andrew in New Jersey. Nitine in Canada. Welcome. Jane in the Philippines. David in California. Pilsen is in the Czech Republic. Okay, beautiful. And Joseph in New Jersey, welcome. Liz in West Virginia. Beautiful. And who else we have here? We have in Clubhouse, we have Batyan, Vilma, David, Adam, Michael, Marcy, Tim, Sam, Norm, Helen. We have on Instagram, we have Sarah. We have Yenta Telebenta, we have Yehuda, we have Carmen. We have, I almost forget how to pronounce. Okay, it'll come to me. In Miami, we have Marlene, we have Glenn, we have Rachel, we have Grateful Living, Akoy in Peru, and a few others I can't make out so clearly. All right, folks. We continue in the 48th chapter. Very short point today. We mentioned yesterday that God creates a finite world which is completely polar opposite of Him. Infinite. Infinite. And we went into great length yesterday, I think, a worthy discussion about how we shouldn't tolerate others just because they're different. Shouldn't tolerate them. God doesn't tolerate us, and we're diametrically opposite of Him. He's infinite. We're finite. He embraces us. We should embrace others. Now, that doesn't mean you, by the way, that doesn't mean you embrace someone else's lifestyle. No, not at all. Or that even that the lifestyle is okay. Not at all. It may not be okay, that lifestyle. Right? May not be. So not only you don't embrace it, but not only, it may not even be good for them. Whatever that is, I'm not, right? Not to each their own. No, I mean, not that we can force anything on anybody. That's not the point. But no, there is a godly way to live, and there is a human way, and there's a destructive way. But that's not the point. The point is we embrace the other, not their lifestyle, but the person themselves. That was yesterday's discussion. But the question then becomes, how is it from an infinite God can come a finite creation? So we touched upon it yesterday and today again. This is the idea of tzimtzum. Tzimtzum means contraction. That God actually contracts in a manner that obscures and conceals the flow of his infinite divine light. That it's not revealed to us down here in a revealed manner, creating us something out of nothing in a manner that is coming from his infinite being, but it's covered over, hidden, concealed. Because only through the contraction of being concealed from us gives us the capability of self-perception, of being finite individuals, and not like a ray of sun within the sun being swallowed up. Because if that were to be revealed, then we would be completely absorbed in our source and the divine and not have any independent being. Now, the relationship between the infinite and the finite is incomparable in quantity and in quality. You know, if you're a trillionaire, so be it, you be even just a billionaire. Okay, so be it, you should only be a millionaire, right? A dollar compared to a billion, compared to a trillion, whoa. You know, not that much, but it is something. It is something, because $1 billion is made up of 1 times 1 times 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, 1 billion times. So there is something relative to it. $1 or 1 compared to a billion. But compared to an infinity, $1 and $1 billion, well, I guess dollars may not be the right, yeah, compared to infinity, is the same. There's no distinction between 1 and $1 billion in front of infinity. There's, you know, both are not relevant. It's not that $1 billion is a little more. No, it's nothing in the face of infinity. So likewise, and that's today's class. It's very short. So what does it mean to stand in front of infinity? So if you're standing before God, the infinite God, what does that mean? Well, it means there's no distinction between me being, you know, me, I don't mean me personally, me, but, you know, the greatest of great people, the master of all minds, right? The righteous of the most righteous, or the best of the best, next to the mediocre or the worst of the worst. Before infinity, there's no distinction. There's an equalization of nothingness, because it's of nothing compared to it. So we spoke about yesterday, the infinite God creates a finite being. That finite being, he has a relationship and embraces. So nothing more distant between infinite and finite. So as I explained yesterday, and I just mentioned briefly earlier, therefore we should likewise be able to embrace each other. But now this metaphor goes a bit further. When we understand that I am standing before an infinite God, and let's say my self-proclaimed value is I'm a billion, right? I got a billion mitzvahs. No, but well, I don't want to put in mitzvahs because that there's a distinction there in the good that we do, right? In the good that we do, because that does touch the infinite. That's a whole different story. Just my being, whatever, compared to another person's being that might be worth a trillion. I'm a billion. They're a trillion. Before the infinite, there's an equalization of that. It's nothing before. Totally nothing is comparable. So that's when we understand that, then we don't get a sense of haughtiness when we're standing next to another person who may be much less than me. I don't get a sense of haughtiness as a result. Because before God, I'm nothing. I'm like, oh, I have this kind of... And that's how we remain humble. That's how we can look down at another. Is that when we understand that, what do you mean? Me compared to you, I'm a trillion, you're only a billion. And I don't even mean in money, in whatever terms you want, right? So I'm going to feel greater status. Whether it's money, whether it's other things, whatever it is, spiritual things. Standing before God, when you really understand the presence of God, so then your trillion and the billion are nothing compared to him. So you're not going to be enamored, self-enamored. This is a side note that I am going. The Alter Rebbe is not going there in Tanya, but I'm taking that just as a side note. Today's class very brief, just to bring out a powerful idea. We're going somewhere completely different with this, as will be in the next couple of classes, a few classes, of what God does for our sake. And because we're speaking about a reciprocal love over here, he does that out of love for our sake, then how we can reciprocate that love to him. But we're just setting it up right now. Very briefly, each class, a simple point that actually you don't see how the dots are being connected yet, because they haven't been connected. And what I am sort of taking it is on a different path. Just, to bring out a different idea. Because I don't want to connect the dots yet, because the Alter Rebbe didn't do that yet, so we're going to have to wait for that. All right. Any questions, any comments? Oh, at Postville, Iowa here. Beautiful. Looking for any questions? Thank you, Vicky. Oh, Elise. Not sure I understand the concept of contraction. Actually, thank you for bringing that up. Another point. Curb your enthusiasm means contract yourself, restrain yourself, hold yourself back. Hold yourself back. How often does it happen that we just want to Restrain yourself. Hold yourself. Contract. That's a power that we get, that we can do that from God, right? An animal can't do that. Hold itself back, choosing to do so out of a choice. If they do it, it's only because of a natural, way. But we could choose to restrain ourselves. Someone hurt our feelings and we bite our tongue and we don't respond, right? What did you do? You held yourself. That's called contraction. So that's what God did. He contracted on himself. He curbed his infinite way in order to make a finite being, me and you, a world, even the Garden of Eden and the spiritual realm, all the spiritual beings, souls and angels. Those are a result of the contraction of the infinite light of God in order to allow finitude to take place. This is something that the Arizal in the 15th century brought this understanding. Before that, we knew that there was an infinite God and a finite world, and how that happened, well, God's God. He can do whatever he wants and however he wants. We didn't have an understanding of it until the Arizal came and explained to us this concept of tzimtzum, contraction. Now, what it means that God contracted doesn't mean he contracted himself out of the world. He contracted himself out that we can't experience his infinite light. We can only experience a very diminished, diluted light and energy of his. Because if we were to experience the infinite light, then we'd be like a ray of sun within the sun. Be completely absorbed in our source in the divine, in the infinite. And we would not have a self-perception, because it wouldn't be self to perceive. That's what it means. Now, that contraction is only from our perspective, but not from God's perspective. From his perspective, we're bound up in one with him. That's something that we actually will learn more in the second part of Tanya. We also learned that in chapters 20, 21 earlier. And we will learn again. We will learn again. But that's it. Thank you for asking that. So bring better clarity to this idea. I hope that's clearer now, Elise. Okay. Beautiful. All right, folks. As always, privilege and a pleasure, I must say. Really is. A reminder about the TRC. We will be meeting this Sunday. We meet on Zoom once a week. And for those who still want to get a chance to get in on it, the Tanya Rabbi community, go to tanyarabbi.org or .com, and it's taking these teachings, making a conversation out of it, so you could own these teachings, that they really become part of your life. Living or learning to live, which ultimately it is. All right, folks, have a great day. There'll be a class now on Zoom, 770, 6085 in Talmud. There'll be 1 o'clock Maimonides. And wishing everybody a great day and a great Shabbos. God bless you all.